Hello and welcome to another episode of SpaceX Zone, the channel which takes you directly to space. Why does Starship flip and land instead of vertical landing? A signature move of all Starship rockets is the horizontal to vertical flip maneuver, followed by landing.
1, ignition. We have liftoff.
Ever wondered why SpaceX uses this technique rather than landing vertically as they do with the Falcon 9s? Those have a very high success rate after all. What's the point of trying to do this difficult move when they have mastered the plain vertical landing? In this video, we will break down the reasons why SpaceX is doing so. If you are in a car on the highway, open the window and put your hand into the airstream. First, put it sideways. Then, your palm into the wind. Try different positions. You will notice the force the wind applies to your hand grows linearly with the surface area you expose. So the more area an object exposes against the wind, the more force it faces. This force is called air friction or drag. The more air drag a free-falling object faces against its falling direction, the lower its terminal velocity will be. When a Falcon 9 does a traditional vertical landing, it exposes much less surface area compared to a Starship falling on its belly. So, by falling on their belly, Starship rockets have a lower terminal velocity. They slow down more easily, and slowing down really helps in landing. You have to remember that the Starship will be traveling a lot faster than the Falcon 9 or Super Heavy booster. This is because it has reached orbital velocity, which the boosters never do. As such, it needs to slow down a lot. Now, a Starship could, in theory anyway, perform such a Deorbit burn over the landing site and slow down with more fuel burning thrust in the atmosphere and land much like Falcon 9. But the sooner you start the flip and burn, the more propellant and oxidizer you need. This means you have to have carried more with you along the whole journey, which means you had less payload weight available. Every kilogram of propellant or oxidizer on the Starship stage is a kilogram less payload. The earlier plan would require a massive amount of fuel. So instead, SpaceX wants to use the Starship's air drag in the atmosphere to do most of this slowing, save fuel and carry more payload instead. The other reason can be seen upon re-entering. Remember, the Falcon 9 never reaches orbit. The second stage does, but the booster pushes it part of the way there and stays suborbital. So the fastest speed the booster reaches is around 8,000 km an hour. When Starship returns from orbit, it'll reach a speed closer to 27,000 km an hour. If it's returning from Mars or the Moon, it will be even faster. As it hits the atmosphere, it compresses the air in front of it, turning it into a very hot plasma. For that maneuver, you want the most stable position and the largest surface area to spread out the heat. If you expose a larger surface to the atmosphere as you re-enter, you spread out the heat over a larger area, therefore less heat per tile. SpaceX sees real potential in this horizontal gliding and then flip maneuver landing. Ultimately, it is all about the most efficient way to get Starship back while providing the most amount of payload capability. But SpaceX is yet to master this maneuver completely. The main problem with that rapid reorientation prior to landing is it causes fuel to slush around in the almost empty tanks, making it hard to feed the fuel to the engines reliably. In SN8, this caused lower pressure in the methane header tank, causing the rapid unscheduled disassembly. In SN10, they tried to solve this by adding helium pressure in the header tank, so the engines started to consume that helium. This resulted in reducing the thrust and leading to a violent landing. But SpaceX has brought several changes in SN10 to solve this. This flip landing maneuver is a very tricky engineering job, but the way things are progressing, sooner or later SpaceX will be able to solve this. If they are successful in sticking the landing after this flip maneuver, it will make Starship rockets cost less, carry more payload, and be more heat resistant. That is the vision behind the flip landing move. Thanks for watching another video of SpaceX Zone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We hope to see you guys on Mars soon.